On Bafana Bafana later on tonight. They have to be wary though of Cape Verde, a side who has troubled them in the past. Joining us this morning for a chat is former goalkeeper Shu-aib Walters, who also played for the likes of Maritzburg United as well as Cape Town City, also part of the Bafana Bafana World Cup squad back in 2010. Shu-aib, good morning and thank you so much for your time this morning on the Weekend Report. I guess let's start. When we look at this Bafana Bafana squad, South Africans at large would have never thought that we'd be here having a conversation about this team contesting a quarterfinal match at the ongoing AFCON tournament. Talk to me about whether there were ever doubts on your side that this team will reach the stage of the AFCON tournament.
Good morning, Rachel. Yes, look, from my side, I always believed it. I think all the South Africans believe. Especially, the nail-biting game against Tunisia. We obviously just needed a draw there, and it was very nail-biting on that one. But progressing and knowing that we were going to get Morocco, I think that alone was a motivation for the players, and that's where you could see the performance. I think it was a very chess-like performance. He built some good consistency with the lineup from Tunisia into the Morocco game, and I think he's finally got the right team going.
And as we talk about that, let's move back to what happened in 2019. The team was able to reach the quarterfinals. So the good thing is that South Africa has been able to sort of match what happened in 2019 in Egypt, reaching the quarterfinals. Unfortunate there to have been beaten by Nigeria in that match. How do you see that going, the progression of Bafana Bafana, how important it is now for them to take it a step higher and sort of qualify for the semi-finals this time around?
Yeah, look, I think beating Morocco, you're kind of telling yourself, look, I can win it. So, yes, it's going to be an extremely tough game against Cape Verde. But I think also if you look at the game ahead, if you're looking at Nigeria, we maybe want to redeem ourselves, So that's the extra motivation to get Nigeria in the semis. So I think they've got a lot to play for. And like I said, it's Cape Verde. It's going to be an extremely tough game. Cape Verde has done extremely well. They also beat us twice in 2017 I think it was the World Cup qualifiers, home and away. So we also have an opportunity to redeem ourselves. So like I said, the players themselves have got a lot of motivation. But what I think is that maybe you're looking at it also as just a mindset. If you can get the mindset and the mentality right, because when you play Morocco, you're always going to be motivated. Yes, you have Nigeria in the next game, but you're also going to look a bit down on a team like Cape Verde, and if they can just overcome that mindset. And I know, yes, it will be the place to say yes, they won't, but you kind of want to just make sure that you have that professional mentality and tell yourself, look, we beat Morocco, we want to go all the way.
And as you speak about mindset, Shu-aib, I think a lot of the talk around Cape Verde as well has been how the team has shown a lot of great mentality. And in this year's Africa Cup of Nations tournament, they've been quite resilient as well. They've shown this never-die attitude on the field, and that has been the strong factor. That has been the strong factor at this year's Africa Cup of Nations. How do you think then Bafana Bafana can counter that on the field today against a team that has that strong mentality and never-die attitude?
Yeah, look, that's one of the hardest teams to play against, especially that, even if you look, yes, we beat Namibia 4-0, but if you look at how Namibia played when they beat Tunisia. So it's going to be something similar to that. It's going to be a team effort. It's going to be hard to break down. We might have to change a little bit because, we were playing a little bit, not on the defensive side, but in a more cautious way against Morocco, against Tunisia. I think we'll have a bit more of the ball now, so we'll have to, have a go at them. They'll be maybe looking to sit back and hit us on transition. So it's a new dynamic compared to the last two games. So we're going to have to just adjust and be very prepared. So I'm sure that the likes of, Ronwen Williams is going to come and play now because especially when we have a lot of the ball, it's a lot more about the rest defense. So it's going to be a little bit more concentration in the rest defense than more in the low block.
You know, I can't help but think of what Gavin Hunt once said, and he said that strikers will score goals for you, but it's the defenders who will win you matches, Shu-aib. And we saw how that backline for Bafana Bafana, incredible in that game against Morocco just a few days ago in the last round of 16. Talk to me, though, about how you're expecting maybe to see that same backline come to the fore tonight, and also talk to me about how you've made of Ronald Williams in this year's competition.
No, Ranwan's been outstanding. Look, he's matured, and we always know it when it comes to goalkeepers that, you know, goalkeepers mature in their 30s, and you can see, I think he's playing the best football of his career this last 3-4 years. So, for me, it's a great time for him, and I think it's a great time for the nation to have him at that age, at that maturity, in the national team. And I think he's like I said, he's held that team together. But look, it's a team effort. I think the back four, including Mokoena and Sitoli in the midfield, in that sitting in the middle of the park, they've been phenomenal. That's 7. Not that the other players haven't been doing well, but they've just been exceptional. Like I said, Hugo Broos has created, well, not created, he kind of got now a little bit of a combination going with the back four, with Ronwan and Sitoli and Mokoena. And I think that is also what's helped. It's just that there's some continuity going.
So you're expecting to also see the same starting 11 that started against Morocco, Tunisia in tonight's match?
Yeah, look, I think if it's not broken, why fix it? Morena's been doing well. Temazwane has been doing well. Maybe a little bit concerned would be the yellow cards that we've got. So, you know, we could. I think that's maybe the downside when you have a little bit of a normal format or a normal 11. It's the worry about the yellow card and the suspensions, and especially this time of the competition. We progress, we get Nigeria. You don't want any suspension, so I think that's going to be a little bit cautious. I don't think the players will go out to be a little bit nervy and cautious about it. If they get it, they get it. We've got good enough players on the bench to come on and if need be for the semi-finals.
Let's talk about Hugo Broos. You mentioned him as well as you speak about the team at the moment. I mean, this is a guy that came under a lot of criticism just before, the start of the Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Of course, he criticized the league numerous times and spoke about the lack of quality of players in the league in South Africa. And we all know what happened on that front. But talk to me about, do you feel that he would be vindicated after all the criticism that he received from South Africans? I'm looking at the fact that he has now taken this team to a greater height, so to say, quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations tournament, and it looks like, they might make it into the semi-finals on the back of the form that they come into this match against Cape Verde. Would you think that he's feeling a lot of vindicated from South Africans who criticized him a lot in the build-up to the AFCON tournament?
Look, for me, he says we don't have quality, but if you look at the starting 11, there's only 2 players that's playing outside the PSL, Sitole and Percy Tau. So he's chosen majority local players, and that they've been exceptionally well, doing well in the team. So I think he's maybe talking with regards to maybe depth, but you could see there was a consistency in his team selections all the way. I mean, the last 2 years, you could see there was a core that he had, and he was just chopping and changing the fringe players. So I think he knew what he was doing. He's maybe pushing that we get a little bit more quality so that there can be competition. Like, for example, if you look at Temazwane 33, he's the star of the show, and then it's Adams, or Paulus and the youngsters. So where is the quality in between 25 and 30-year-olds in that position? And I think that is what he's talking about. Yes, we've got good youngsters coming through. I think we've got a phenomenal under-20 national team with the likes of Chandra Campbell coming through, Bartman from Cape Town Spurs. So there is that group. But what he's saying is between the age of 25 and 30, what happened there? And yes, we've got good, like I said, youth coming through, and we've got good potential, but for competition like this, I think Zwane needed a little bit more support. Even Percy on the wings, and for me, that is maybe where he's saying, look, I'm relying on just certain players all the time.
All right, just to wrap it up this morning, Shu-aib, your prediction then for this game. How do you see this game going for Bafana Bafana?
Look, like I said, it's going to be a tough game. I think we will create chances, that's no doubt. My concern is how disciplined are we going to be? Yes, we can go forward, but it's just a transition that I'm going to be worried about, and can we keep our discipline? For me, like I said, it's a tough game, but I think we should win it, and I'm definitely going to go for a win, because I know with the likes of Kakana and Bala now, building their confidence, I think that they'll be able to marshal with Ronwin. Yes, we push numbers forward, but we have to be tactically disciplined in our rest defense as well.
Right, Shu-aib, I appreciate your time.
So I'm going to go definitely with the Bafana victory. I really want it. I think that the country wants it. Yeah. I think the country needs it. So yeah, I think we're going to get it.
You can put in a score there as well. What's the score?
I'm going to go with 2-0.
All right, Shu-aib, I appreciate your time.
2-0 to Bafana.
Fabulous. I do appreciate your time this morning on the Weekend Report. Shu-aib Walters, of course, is a former Maritzburg United goalkeeper, was part of the 2010 FIFA World Cup squad for Bafana Bafana. Kickoff for that game is at 10 o'clock later on tonight. Bafana Bafana, Cape Verde, fighting for a place in the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations tournament.